Good morning, Pelham Road. Let's have a good week. I'm trying to get comfortable here on the couch. Let me remind you of a couple of things. This is our Instagram account. You can go over there and check out photos from current situations as well as in the past. Instagram. Then we also have our YouTube station. The YouTube station archives everything we've done here during the past year, so take a look there. You can find a variety of things, music and inspiration, stories. And this is brainpickings.org. If you're just looking for some place to go on the internet just to be curious, brainpickings.org is where you can find anything from poetry to even physics references. Well, you can tell by the buzzing out here that I'm at the office and that the parents are bringing in their children today. So there might be a little noise during this. The devotions you viewed last week were filmed on March 12th and 13th. You're viewing this on March 23rd. The problem with filming ahead of time is that we're less responsive to events as they happen. On March 16th, a white man shot and killed 8 people in Atlanta. 6 of them were Asian women. If medical research spent billions of dollars on fighting acne and did not address cancer, we would rightly say that medicine was failing us. To ignore the most life-threatening issue to spend resources and time and energy on cosmetic issues, well, I guess we'd call that malpractice. I know you get tired of me talking about racism and toxic male or toxic white masculinity. Yet for me to ignore these subjects and to talk about something like Jesus walking on the water or Paul's theology of grace, well, that would be the spiritual equivalent to malpractice. The most threatening issue to our spirits is the hate of others. The hate of others based on the color of their skin, their gender, their sexual orientation, or their religious preference. Now, it's not like love of neighbor is a foreign concept to our faith. It's written in bold. It's included on almost every page. John 35 says, "They will know you're my disciples by your love." They'll know we are Christians by our love, not by our purity or our hate or our orthodoxy or our politics. The way they identify us as Christians is by our love. Seems pretty important. At one point, the scripture is bold enough to write these words: "Whoever claims to love God, yet hates a brother or a sister, they're lying to you. For whoever does not love their brother and sister, who they can see, cannot love God, whom they cannot see." Now, I read with this young man who shot and killed 8 people, 6 of who were Asian women. I read where he was a Christian. Now, he's given us a bad name, much like the Muslims who flew their planes into the Twin Towers gave Islam a bad name. We do know that most Christians, like most Muslims, do not kill. But when one does, it gives us reason to pause. Now, these days, people are influenced by a lot of sources beyond their sort of local congregation. There's online influences. There's family and friends that influence him and influence us. But somewhere along the way, he got a hold of some toxic Christianity. Apparently, he had the idea that women are to be submissive to men and that a woman's task is to be an object of sexual pleasure for men. Further, his actions indicate that he believed some people, based on their race, are exceptions to Christian love. And finally, the killing spree indicates the faith he was familiar with taught that when struggling with temptation, the problem is the woman. So the solution becomes to kill the object of your temptation. There is bad religion out there. And if your religion is teaching you to hate anyone, including yourself, it's time to go somewhere else. There were 8 victims here of a hate crime. 6 women were the victims of a hate crime directed at women. Now, I'm growing weary of offering prayers for families who are the victims of white Christian men who think following Jesus has something to do with killing others. I am now turning my attention to calling out the bad religion that provides the theological foundations for this behavior. What we saw last week is the side effect of a male-centric Christianity. A Christianity where sexual purity, male authority, and theological narrowness is more valued than love of neighbor or the fruit of the Spirit. Now, this young man says he was fighting temptation. You do not fight temptation by killing others. Churches must teach that women and men are equal. When people teach that men are above women, this is the result. When people teach that the white race is superior to others, this is what happens. When churches become silent about the things that matter and vocal about the things that don't, we have abandoned the call of Christ and we have joined the false prophets. I do wish that on this day I could give you a sunnier message. But sometimes you just have to tell the truth. I mean, anything less than the truth is really not worthy of the name inspired. Nevertheless, say a prayer, let's do better, and have a blessed day.